Okay, so here we are. Um, Season 3 debut of Arrow. Um, quite a bit happened. Probably the best way to, I mean, we got to see what was going on after the end of last season, and we're still broke as far as Oliver is in Queen Industries. Well, Oliver is concerned. Queen Industries is still going around, and its new owner is Ray Palmer, who will become the Atom this season. So, let's just jump right into the takeaways. So, the first takeaway is a trained Roy. Um, Roy is debuted. He is going to be Arsenal. He is not going to be the Red Arrow. He is not Speedy. Um, I can see that because Speedy would just be a dumb name within the show, and the fact that that's the nickname that Ollie gave his sister Mia. Um, it's just more of uh, more of what we need to see. Is him in his Arsenal persona, and being that it's 9 months after the events, he was really well trained. He was, you know, jumping right to the action. Was the one that basically took on the bomb at the end, and wasn't a big surprise. I thought it was just well handled for that jump. There was a nice time jump between both Arrow and the Flash going into this. So, um, having Roy there, and I have to say it, Roy's suit is much better. Granted, we know that the hood on Roy's is leather, and the hood on um, Ollie's suit, it looks like it's kind of a cotton, or maybe it could be kind of a suede, which would be a leather type deal. But it was just kind of a nice. It's a nice suit. I really liked it. Um, we have Felicity working at a regular job. It was a nice callback that she's working at a tech place. She had a little bit of a conversation with Ray Palmer without knowing who he was, and then inadvertently gave him the stuff that helped him get information on Ollie and Queen Industries and where they were. So we'll see how that goes. She might take the job. Getting into the midseason, we might see something that happens that brings the team to some kind of point to work together. I don't know. It's going to be interesting, but I don't expect her to be working at that job for long. As far as Ray, or yeah, Ray Palmer taking over Queen Industries. Um, Oliver's speech was really good at that meeting. That's another takeaway. He's trying to make up for what's happened in the two episodes. Um, it's going to be interesting. Of course, he did not get back Queen Industry, so you got to wonder how this is going to play out. And of course, it happened in the comic book. So, that said, um, you know, I really don't know. I really can't predict where it's going, and I like that. I like that we can't predict. We're kind of like just on this show for a ride right now, to see where it's going to happen, because so much has happened over the last 2 years with big reveals and big returns, and so I think something is going to happen where, at least by the end of the season, I would expect Ray to bring Ollie back on board, and eventually, maybe season 4, see that Ray has allowed Ollie to buy back the majority stock of the company. But who knows? We don't know what Mia's up to. Um, then the fact, I'd say the fifth takeaway on this is Diggle's retirement, and I use the retirement uh, cautiously because you know he's going to be back. You know something's going to happen that's going to threaten his wife or child, and that he's going to want to protect them. But just the fact that we got to see this nice little payoff, because if he had been helping Ollie at the end of the episode, if he was there as part of Team Arrow, working with Ollie and Roy, that they wouldn't have been able to. He wouldn't have been there for the birth of his child, and so I thought that was a nice payoff. It was a nice thing where, too many times last season, Diggle and Ollie had this butting of the heads, which I think if you had that this week, it just would, blow your mind. Like, you'd be like, how many times is this going to happen? So it was a nice little payoff to see that Diggle, you were right, and everything paid off for that. Now, I know I'm not sounding too enthused. I thought for a season 3 premiere, this was really good. I liked it. There's a lot of stuff that's known. We got to see the beginning of Ollie with a Hong Kong arc. The last 2 seasons we've had the the I don't even know what to call it, but the memory arc, showing us what happened in the past, how it helps him in the current. And so that was nice that we got that callback with seeing him in Hong Kong. So we're off the island, which, it's about time he got off the island. With all that stuff, you'd kind of wonder how much could go on the island that would train him to be who he is when he comes home in season 1, episode 1. So we're seeing him as some kind of agent working with Amanda Waller, and we've got this family, this husband and wife, and she is going to be Katana eventually. And if you recognize the actress, she was the one that teamed up with Wolverine in The Wolverine. So she just doesn't have the red hair. She has her natural black hair. So yeah, there was that. But yeah, it was a good setup. I'll give you my big 3 and then give you my rating after this. So my big 3, we get the comic book staple of the passing on of mantles. Now, the passing on of mantles is something like, I'm a big Batman fan, so I know that there's been numerous Robins, that Dick Grayson was one, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, Stephanie Brown, even though that's kind of mind wiped with the New 52, but Damian Wayne. So we have this passing on of mantles. Bruce Wayne, when he was thought dead, passed it on to Dick Grayson, actually twice within the history of the comics. More if you go to pre-Crisis, but anyway, the main point is it's a comic book staple. I talked about this with the Flash review, that we might have 2 Reverse Flashes within the series. So it's kind of like an interesting thing, because there are 3 Reverse Flashes within the Flash continuity. So it was nice to see that we get 2 Vertigos. We had the Count, the previous 2 seasons. We have this new Vertigo who comes in and is as ruthless and as trusting of the drug that he uses. So that was something that we haven't seen in comic books series translated to television for a while. I mean, there's always been Selena Kyle as Catwoman, but in the Batman series, there was 3 or 4 Catwomen during the old Adam West Batman series. So, it was a nice little introduction. So that way, there we can have characters eventually take on mantles later on down the road. Uh, so I think that was a big, probably the biggest of the big 3. Well, no, it wasn't really. My last one's going to be the big 3, but anyway. The second one is the trick arrows. More trick arrows. That's one of the things about Arrow that the Green Arrow in the comics has. Thank God, and I'm praying that they never do the punching, the boxing glove on the Arrow. I cannot see that for the life of me. In fact, I think they even joked about that last year. So I don't see that as being something. But yeah, just the fact that they're using more trick arrows, and be interesting to see Roy start using them. He just had conventional arrows, from what I remember of the episode. So we'll probably see both of them using them this season. And it'll be interesting to see how that relationship goes. I haven't heard anything, but if it goes the route of the comic book, there is a slight falling out between Roy and Ollie. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. But probably won't be this season. Probably be next season, or even a season 5. So we'll just have to wait and see. But my number 1 big 3 is Sarah dies. Who saw that happening? It's known that the actress is going to be back for 2 or 3 episodes. So this is episode 1. So I'm seeing that at least if she is back for 2 more episodes, those 2 are going to be, at the very least, flashbacks or ghost episodes, to kind of reveal what is going on with the character. Now, she dies right in front of Laurel after their little get-together. If you're wondering who killed her, and this will be a big spoiler, but it was not Merlin. You might be thinking, well, it was Merlin or Mia. It was no one in that. There is a new character. Actually, I won't tell you the name. You can look this up. There is a similar character to Roy and Ollie and Merlin. And it's going to tie in with the Hong Kong arc. So that's who I'm thinking at this point it could be, because I don't think we're going to expect that it's Merlin. Let's face it. We're going to expect that Merlin is the one that brought this on, and it's not. That would just be too obvious to do. So, all said and done, it's not Merlin. It's this other character. They've already cast it. They've cast Wildcat, who's going to be on this season, and he was in the boxing. He was in the boxing part of the episode, and it's rumored that he's going to be training Laurel to become Canary. And actually, just today, pictures came out that showed her getting fitted for what may be a domino mask. So if that rumor is true, then at least by the season finale, Laurel will take on the mantle of Black Canary, which would be normal because Laurel is Black Canary in the comic books. So that's it. Yeah. My rating for this wasn't the best episode, but it was a nice little setup. I kind of felt that the Olicity, as people are calling it, I wasn't really a fan of that, because I know that Ollie's supposed to end up with Black Canary. So I'm not bought into this. So I'm kind of, but my thing is, I'm gonna give this. I felt that kind of all that playing around for fans' sake dragged the episode down. It probably would have been a 7, but um, the fact that we got the new Vertigo and the death of Sarah in this episode bumped it up to an 8.5. Because it is going to be something that, as far as like the history of the show, you're gonna be watching this show 10 years from now. You got to see this episode to see what happened to Sarah, or if they're going to bring back Vertigo, you got to find out, what happened to the old Vertigo and how the new Vertigo was introduced. So 8.5, and that's it. That's it for the show. I'm not gonna do stuff on Dawn of Justice. I'm just trying to kind of. I gotta work on scripts or something to kind of keep these things down. Um, maybe I'll have to do two DC shows. I don't know. Decisions. Who knows?